Does Penn State finally conquer the Big Ten? Last year they made the playoff. They made it all the way to the semifinals by luck of the draw. They've got a returning senior quarterback and two of the best running backs in the country. So, Burrow, does Penn State win the Big Ten this season? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll win the national title, or doesn't necessarily mean Ohio State can't win the national title. But do they win the Big Ten this year?
Who do they have on their schedule from the Big Ten?
Oregon and Ohio State are their big ones. I mean, they play Indiana and a couple other teams, but their two big games are Ohio State.
Okay, so no Michigan, so that's good for them. I honestly feel like Michigan and Penn State are going to be the top two teams in the Big Ten. So I could see them. I could see them winning. I don't think it's really that far of a stretch because, like you said, I mean, they got Drew Allar coming back. He was the number one quarterback recruit in 2022. You know, going back to the earlier conversation, and those two running backs they have are phenomenal, and the backup might be better than the starter. Right. I mean,
it's definitely the best duo in the country. And you're right; they don't have Michigan. They've got Indiana, Iowa, but it really comes down to Oregon and Penn State. And just like last year, you know, they lost to Ohio State last year, but they made it to the Big Ten championship game last year. So
true.
Even if they drop that game to Ohio State, if Ohio State should falter like they did last year, they could still find their way in. You got to think just so much has been built. Every year in recent years, you've kind of had these schools where they've had these seniors come back and try to compete for something. Michigan did it. Georgia kind of did it in 2021. You know, and Ohio State had some guys who came back last year who could have went other places or went pro. It seems like that's becoming the norm, is that if you can get some really good players to come back in a year when they could have left, that helps really build these solid teams that are built for the playoffs. Penn State's kind of that team this year, I think.
Yeah. So the biggest question, though, for Penn State, which was last year, is James Franklin. Can he not coach himself out of a victory?
Again. Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest question, because he has snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory before. We've seen that. So he's got to overcome that.
Yeah.
But if he can, I would not be shocked to see Penn State win the Big Ten.
If he can't, he just keeps being the Mark Richt of the Big Ten.
Yep.